Hello, welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host. I'm welcoming you to the special edition of the podcast, and we are very excited. Today, we are having our episode 98 in the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. From time to time, we also invite nonprofits to the American Business Podcast, and we cover their missions, how they serve the community, and other details. So we are excited to have the nonprofit edition of the American Business Podcast today. And today's number is 15.8. There are 15.8 million military veterans in the United States. Speaking of veterans, as you know, yesterday was Veterans Day, and we honor veterans, those who serve the country. It was a great opportunity to show our appreciation to the veterans of the country. And speaking of that, we have a great guest today, and we're going to talk about veterans, and we're going to talk about the Veteran Day as well. Let's invite our guest, and let's get the conversation started. Hello,
Hi.
Kelli. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me. How are you today?
Good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Oh, doing great. So happy to be here.
Well, thank you very much for being with us, and happy Veterans Day, even though that's the day after.
Thank
I like
you.
to say
Thank
that.
you.
And I know you are a veteran as well. Thank you very much for your service.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Happy to
Of
be
course.
here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. The American Business Podcast is streaming from New York, and especially because we are in New York metro area, even though we are a national podcast, Long Island is always important for us. There's our soft spot, and it was a great opportunity to get in touch with Paws of War, and I'm glad that you made it and joined us today.
I'm so happy to be here. We're so lucky to have this small but mighty organization here in New York.
I appreciate it. So we'll talk about it, and we'll learn more about it, and we should all support it. That's the goal of our episode in the American Business Podcast today. Why don't we get started? Let's start with introductions. Would you please introduce yourself and Paws of War to our audience and to our listeners?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Kelli Porti. I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I am the veteran and outreach liaison here for Paws of War. I work with partnerships of businesses, other nonprofits, and with our communities here of veterans and first responders to keep our mission moving forward. So what our mission is up here at Paws of War is we are an animal rescue organization, and we rescue dogs and cats, and we place them as companion animals or service animals for our veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. So we do this in a lot of different ways. We rescue locally here in New York, across the United States, and also internationally in war-torn areas. We have a variety of programs. We've been around, we're going into our 11th year. So we have been growing tremendously, and we're a nonprofit. So all the services that we offer to our veterans and first responders and Gold Star families are at no cost. And that also includes active military. We support our military that are active as well.
How did you get started? Can you tell us about your career journey a little bit? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Sure. So I served in the Army. I joined in 1994 and got out in 97. I was a logistics, which is supply, and also a budget specialist. 92 Yankee is the MOS letter name. And basically, I loved my job. I learned very quickly. I had an amazing mentor who was my first supply sergeant, who allowed me to participate in skill sets that were way above my pay grade at the time. And he allowed me to make mistakes and grow from them, learn from them, and how to run a supply room. So that was really my first experience of working, I guess, in an environment that you had to be responsible for money and also budget and being accountable for materials. So it was a big responsibility. And I grew very much from that and served here in the United States and also overseas on a hardship tour in South Korea. I did 3.5 years, and my goal was to get the Montgomery GI Bill to finish my education and get a college degree. So that was like my main focus. When I first got out, I then went into government contracting. I worked over in the Middle East, in Kuwait, and also supported logistic efforts in Bahrain and Dubai. So I did that for a couple of years, which made it a bit of an easier transition, I think, coming from a military into civilian. Reason being, back then, the internet wasn't as the way it is today. Instant information wasn't so much in the forefront as it is today. And being that I was getting out overseas, it was a little bit more difficult. So it was a different time, and the resources weren't as prevalent as they are today. So I was very fortunate to get recruited from a company, and I went home for a little bit. I spent a little time at home, and then I went off to Kuwait, and I was in my mid-20s. From there, I wanted to accomplish the goal of finishing college. So after being a couple of years in the contracting world, I then went back to school in New York. I got my associate's degree and at a local community college, and then progressed into getting more involved in office management and also human resources. So that's something that I love to do. I love the organization aspect of it, of helping to manage the operational pieces of how an office operates. So that's where my focus was, and that's what I continued to do and to learn more about. And then I eventually got married. I had a family. So I was, taking a lot of time to prioritize on that. And then I moved around a little bit. I lived some time in Florida. I lived some time in New York. Of course, I was overseas for a couple of years. So, I mean, that really expanded, I think, my perspective in life, along with serving in the military. So I was very grateful for those moments and those experiences, because it just shows that different perspectives can really help in business, whether it's private or in the nonprofit world. So I was able to bring those skills here to Paws of War. I started part-time as the Veteran and Community Outreach Liaison, which is the role that I still am in now. And I've been with Paws of War as a volunteer and on staff for a couple of years. And it's my passion. It's what I want to do. Finished my degree. I'm planning on continuing to finish up my master's in clinical psychology, so I can provide more resources to veterans and first responders. But I love working in nonprofit. This is the first time I've ever worked in a nonprofit. It's very different, because everything of your programs and what you decide to do as far as decision making of going to an event or a podcast or resources, it's all dependent on funding. So that is something that is very new that I've learned, and that's been like a real life experience, I guess you could say, and also a good job skill to learn as I've been here.
Absolutely, this is really exciting.
Yeah.
And to your point, for me to work with nonprofits in my business, which is business software, started last year, and I had the similar reactions the first time when I got into the nonprofit world. It's actually different from for-profit world in terms of mindset, the driving force of the organization, also the position and the service in general nonprofits provide to communities is fascinating.
Yes.
So in that sense, I definitely agree with you in terms of how a nonprofit works and how it is important in general for the society. And speaking of course, Paws
Yes.
of war, it is very important for the community as to what you guys are doing. So we truly appreciate it as to what you are
Thank
doing.
you.
Absolutely.
It's I've learned that when you do something that you love, it really isn't work. I'm right where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be, and that's continuing to serve my communities. I take a lot of pride in that, and I love animals. So I have 2 dogs at home. One is Raleigh Dalmatian, which is ironic because my husband's a retired city fireman. And then we have Sammy, who we actually rescued through here at Paws of War, and he is a Newfoundland. So he's a pretty big dog, and they've been life changing. So when I go out to speak, my role is to help bring relationships to help support our mission, and also for funding. And it's very easy for me to talk about the mission and what we do, and how we go beyond it, because we are saving lives every day. And we are providing very detrimental resources to our communities, that it's just so easy for me to talk about. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And I'm just honored to be able to talk about it and to be here to do that.
I like to learn about your day-to-day work. What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
I would say right now is a very busy time for us. The travel is exciting. I would also have to say, changing the lives of someone who needs help. That is the most impactful thing that we do every day. I myself love working with other veterans, speaking to other veterans, whether they served during my time frame or World War II or Vietnam, because my family all is military history as well. My father was a veteran. He was a Marine recon during the Vietnam era. So it's something I've always been surrounded by and take a lot of pride in. So spending time with veterans and first responders that serve our communities, continue to serve, is something that is just very important to me. And I just believe that I have to do every day everything I can to help and to be there for them.
Do you have any role models? Have you had any mentors in your career journey?
Yes. So it's funny. I've been very fortunate through the years. I've worked for a lot of amazing people. But I would say that supply sergeant that I was talking about earlier today, he really helped shape my way of trying to be flexible and adapt and overcome obstacles. Because being someone who was young in their 20s, so used to being a certain way and very organized, which was one of the good things about being in the military, because I'm just kind of that personality to begin with. You also have to learn to be flexible and adapt and overcome change. So this was something that I very much learned from him as being my mentor. And I'm very grateful for those lessons. And also he allowed me to fail. So he had actually went away to go to a special training, and he left me in charge at a very, I was a young private, to help run the supply room. And we actually had something called our own property book, which is usually at a battalion or brigade level. It's a much higher level, but that's just how our unit was set up. So there was a lot of responsibility in that. And he trained me to keep things going while he was gone for about 2 months. And I learned a lot from that. And he allowed me to make the mistakes. He gave me guidance, and that geared me for the future for me and my career. I was able to, when I went to South Korea, not just work in a supply room, but then I became a budget analyst and worked at the battalion level. And it was those experiences through his mentorship that geared me and got me prepared for that experience. So I'm very grateful for that. And, just learning how to just take care of yourself and just make sure you take care of your troops. So those are the lessons.
Well, it's always great to have mentors and role models, and thank you for sharing that. We
Yes.
always have someone or more than one professional who actually help us in different ways for us to grow,
sure.
learn, and also go further. How about a key career lesson that you learned the hard way? If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
So being that I have the HR background and having to manage different levels of offices and now being in this position, the one thing that's connected through is that you have to kind of compartmentalize things sometimes. Because I do have a personal connection working for the organization that supports veterans and I'm a veteran, I still have a goal. I still have to focus on the mission. I still have to get my work done every day. And there's a lot of different things that go into that. And sometimes I could talk about something or do something and it could trigger me into something where I get a little bit emotionally attached or more upset. So just learning how to take a step back and just take a deep breath or, just regroup, I would say is a vital life lesson and also a work career lesson that I've learned. And I think it's important to know how to do that because listen, in today's world, there's so many different things happening. So to be able to have that emotional intelligence to support yourself and to support your coworkers and others around you is really important in order to achieve your goals for the company and whether it's your department or the overall company. I think it's important to have that. So emotional intelligence is super important and just being able to apply that every day.
Is there a book, a movie, a show that helped you shape your career perspective over the years?
So I'm a huge movie person, love to read. And this is going to be a little bit of an unusual book, but I read this book. It was the memoir of Jeremy Renner, who is an actor. He had, I would say, I think it was about a year and a half, close to 2 years ago, had a terrible accident on, want to say it was January 1st. He was with his family at his home in the mountains. And he was on a humongous commercial level snow tractor, a snow plow. And he had a terrible accident and it ran him over. And his family was there and everything. And he talks about his experience as to when he actually died and came back. And he talks about the experience because he was very vivid in remembering what happened to him and how he recovered, stayed alive, and shifted his whole perspective on things. Not that I don't think family wasn't important to him before, but he started focusing on his nonprofit. He started changing the lives of children with a summer camp. There was a lot of things that he started to do that were very inspiring, and it just showed determination. It showed that sometimes life is going to give you a traumatic event or something that's uncomfortable, whether it's physical, emotional, or all of it. And you have to have the dignity, the grit, and compassion for yourself and kindness for yourself to heal and to grow and to overcome that obstacle. And I just found that book to be extremely inspiring. This past summer, I had lost my dad to Alzheimer's about 2 years ago. And again, I said before, he was a Marine veteran, and I still now have a lot of difficulty with that, but I was able to read that book, and it really kind of put me at peace every time I read that story, and inspired me to go back to work full time, because I had to step away for a little while part time to help take care of my parents and focus on my dad's well-being before he passed. So it was a real tough period for me, and reading that book was very inspiring and helped me just kind of move forward through that. So I recommend anyone, for whether it's a professional purpose, a personal purpose, it's a really amazing story, and I recommend everyone to read it. He's a brilliant writer.
Sounds like a very inspiring book. So thank you for sharing that.
Yep. I could talk about it and tear up a little bit. He really went through it, and he's phenomenal. I mean, he's just like doing his thing, acting now, and he's, really focused on nonprofit now. So I just think it's amazing what he went through and how he shared his story.
Absolutely. Very inspiring.
Yep.
I'm actually very curious about your take on AI. In our podcast, in the American Business Podcast, we talk about technology, AI pretty often. These are very popular subjects, and they really affect our lives nowadays. What is your take on AI? How do you see the impact of AI on the organization, as well as on nonprofits in general?
Okay, so AI, and I'm not a tech person, but from what I've experienced myself and what I'm seeing out there, AI is just changing the entire world. I think the way we communicate, the way we do our message deliveries, how we receive information, how we send information, and that affects nonprofits as they talk about their mission and try and fundraise and communicate what their programs are. And, AI is just changing the spectrum for that. And I look forward to seeing more of how it's going to grow and how we're going to incorporate it more in our marketing initiatives, in our advertising initiatives, and also just learning how to support maybe veterans at other locations, and just utilizing that technology to leverage all of the things that we have to offer. I just know, because we're a nonprofit and we do work with a lot of other organizations, whether it's private or government, they're all changing the way of their approaches too. So you have to adapt, right? So I think adapting, learning is really important. And I just see things being very different in the next, even from a year from today. I think it'll be very different. So, yeah, I think it's affecting everyone.
Well, speaking of that change, let's talk about job market a little bit, especially job market for veterans. Yesterday, we were chatting earlier before the podcast started. So yesterday I had a chance to watch the parade, and then I had a chance to watch a bunch of different podcasts about veterans, job market, how to position veterans in organizations because of their background, the discipline, the leadership skills, and so on. So how do you see the job market nowadays for veterans, and how veterans should prepare themselves for the job market nowadays from your point of view?
So I would say my biggest piece of advice for anyone who's transitioning, who is a veteran, even from years ago till now, I think that you just have to keep in mind, I think sometimes we have like this perspective or this plan that we want things to happen exactly the way we want to plan it out. And in today's day and age, you just have to be flexible. You have to be able to adapt, overcome the challenges, and go with the change, because things are changing every day. And I, for myself, I guess going from a military environment to a government contracting environment, it was a little bit of an easier transition. So even though I didn't have the resources and the technology back then, it was a little bit different. Today, there's so many resources, right? So I wouldn't overload yourself with and getting bogged down in the noise of a lot of stuff. Just really focus on what it is you want to do, what makes you happy, what makes you passionate, and figure out, talk to as many people as you can. Learn, ask questions. I think that's very important. Intern somewhere. I think volunteering is a huge way of networking and getting involved somewhere. We love our volunteers. Our volunteers, there's many times that we will have a volunteer and they'll end up doing part-time or full-time work for us. I know that would be the same for other nonprofits and other organizations. It's a great way to network yourself in. So I think all of those things, I would say, volunteering, be flexible, realize the ultimate end goal. My father used to always say, if you put this on your resume, is it going to help you leverage forward, or is it going to hold you back? Like, what is it that you want to put on your resume that's going to help make you shine and achieve your goal? So remember, when you're making those decisions on accepting a job position or working for a certain type of industry or employer, that it's something you're happy with and that you'll be proud to put your resume on. So yeah, I would say that those are the main things, really.
Well, also, I love to get your insights about your career advice for the next generation. So the new generation coming in, they're graduating schools, colleges, universities, and there is also a shift in the job market nowadays because the
Yes.
entry-level jobs are getting less because of AI, because of technology and other reasons. So things are shifting. So it's getting more challenging for
Mhm.
new grads. That's for sure. Not that it was easy before, but it's more challenging right now. That's how it looks. So from this point of view, what is your career advice for the next generation coming into the job market?
Just expect to pivot at some point. Expect that something's going to be thrown in your way, that you're going to have to always learn something new. Be open to change. Constantly learn and ask questions. Be mindful of yourself and others that you work with. Whether you think you're leaving a job or staying with a job, because you never know who you're going to meet again down the road. So you always want to leave in a good way, and in a professional way. And I just say, lead with kindness and just, try in whatever choices you make and whatever your education brings you to, live life with integrity, because nobody can ever take that away. And it's something you can always have. And that's not taught in a manual or in a classroom.
Let's talk about Paws for a little bit more, if that's okay.
I would love that.
Yes, let's do that. Sounds great. So, are there any events coming up in the calendar?
Yes. So right now we have we have several programs. We have, which for talking about the job market and stuff, we have a Veterans Resource Center that we have outside resources and resources here to help support beyond our mission. So whether that's food insecurity, homelessness, helping with transitioning into a job, we have resources to connect our veterans and first responders with. We work with a lot of people locally and throughout the United States and internationally. So while we're working on these programs, and we're also very focused on our war-torn program, where we're rescuing what we're calling our Thanksgiving Wish, which we have actually 11 service members that are on deployment. And they've rescued 10 dogs and 1 cat. And their wish is for them to get back here to the United States for Thanksgiving. So if you go to our website and you connect, you would click on, which is pawsofwar.org, you would go ahead and either scan the QR code on the screen or go to programs under War Torn, and you could donate directly to that program. We're really needing help with that, and also for our service dog cases. And what I mean by that is training to support our veterans and first responders, whether it's a companion animal or service animal. We don't charge anything to anybody. So we're really looking for funding to help support those cases so we can continue providing the classes and the free training for our veterans, first responders, and our Gold Star families. So some of the events we're also taking part right now to help support these programs and talk about it is tonight we have an event at the Stone Goat in St. James. It's going to be an event with food and drinks, live music, and some raffle baskets. And then again, we have one on Sunday, which is going to be at Del Fuego. It also in St. James, and we will also be doing a raffle basket 50-50, and it's for the 1:00 football game. So it's very family friendly. You could bring the kids. They have lots of specials, and 15% of those proceeds are going to go to these efforts. So yeah, if it's $1, if it's $10, $100, $1,000, we're asking for everyone's support. Or if you are a business owner or you have a business that has corporate giving or work with philanthropy initiatives, please reach out to me. You can reach me out at Kelli, Kelli, at pawsofwar.org. I'm the person to speak to. We're always looking for new relationships, looking for different grants to help support all our missions and all the great work that we're doing. So, yeah, we're just looking for help. So this is the time of year for us that's very busy. So yeah, if you could just spend some time with us and talk, I can give you a tour. And yeah, there's lots of different things we could do.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So I make sure the QR code is on the screen
Thank
for
you.
our audience, and we also have listeners on Spotify and Amazon Music. They also
Perfect.
listen and hear what we are talking about and the websites.
Yes.
We encourage our viewers to scan the QR code and support Paws of War.
Yeah.
And the QR code makes things easier, so you can
It
just
does.
pull up your camera, your mobile device, and then scan it, and voila, you're gonna see it in front of you. Yes.
And also, if there's anybody that's listening that's a veteran or a first responder, Gold Star family, or if you know someone that's in need, needs someone to talk to, possibly interested in a service animal, or need any resources, I'm always available, and we're always available. We don't turn off our phones at 5:00. We keep going until the day ends. One of the positives of having a veteran on staff. So, yeah, if anybody knows of anyone that needs some help, especially anything related to mental health or any type of disabilities, we're here to support you. So please, once you become part of Paws of War, you're part of our family. It's forever. And yeah, so I just wanted to make sure if anybody needed some help, that's available. We're here for you.
That sounds great, and I'm glad we put it out there, and we share with our audience and our viewers. This is a great opportunity, and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
In your busy schedule, thank you for your service, and thank you for your service at Paws of War as well. This is really great and really inspiring, and I'm happy to be able to support Paws of War in my own capacity. So that's a great start. That's how I look at it. So consider me as your friend, as your supporter in my own right, in my own capacity. I'll be happy to support in the organization anytime that I can.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. That's what helps us do what we do.
Sure.
I was honored to come on today to speak, and yeah, let's just keep everybody in our prayers, our active military that's out there that can't be home, and for all the people that have served. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I wish you a great week, great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks. To our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for listening the American Business Podcast. Today, we put together a special edition, nonprofit edition, and yesterday being the Veterans Day, it was a great opportunity for us to interview a leader from a nonprofit organization, and Paws of War is a great organization supporting veterans. They have a really special mission, and that was great that we had Kelli on the American Business Podcast. And now Paws of War, you know what they do, and you can support the organization. I'll put the QR code one more time on the screen. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you to their website, and you can donate. This website is also very informative. I had a chance to visit the website earlier. You can learn about the organization, how they support veterans, and also you can learn about their coming events as well. This QR code will take you to their donation page if you like to donate and support the organization. In addition to donation, just like Kelli mentioned earlier, there are other ways to support Paws of War. You can be a volunteer. You can support the organization as well. So that's a great opportunity. And if you are a nonprofit, if you know a nonprofit, and if you like to be on the American Business Podcast, we are more than welcome to have you on the American Business Podcast nonprofit edition. All you can do is just send us an email, American Business Podcast at gmail.com. I'll put it on the screen as well. So when you send us an email, this is our website, and I'll put the Gmail address. We have American Business Podcast at gmail.com. You can send us an email, and we'll be able to schedule a special episode with you to talk about your nonprofit organization, your mission, how you are serving and supporting community, and we can introduce your organization to our audience and to our listeners. So you are more than welcome to be on the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest speaker, you can also send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast at gmail.com. If you go to our website, you can see our coming schedule, americanpodcast.tv. You'll see about our coming schedule, who'll be with us, as well as what type of subjects we'll be covering. And our goal is to pass 100 episodes this year. We are getting close. And you can see our coming schedule as well. Today is our 98th episode in our season 3 in the American Business Podcast. And we are excited to pass 100 episodes. It's coming up very, very soon. Great. What else is happening? Well, let's talk about our sponsors. If you are interested in building, having a team organization, building your team spirit, consider SpotCorp Events. They put together events to help you build team spirit and bonding within your organization. You can scan this QR code, and it'll take you to their website, and you can learn about their activities, as well as you'll have a chance to get their contact information and be in touch with them. When you get in touch with them, make sure you mention the code ABP, and you let them know that you heard about them in the American Business Podcast. That's a great organization. We also work with them very closely, very professional, and they have deep expertise in different industries. So it's a great opportunity for you to meet with SpotCorp Events team. Pupfish USA, our another supporter. If you are interested in distracting your data, if you have compliance requirements, if you're in healthcare, defense, automotive, and other highly regulated industries, consider Pupfish USA. They're gonna pick up your electronics, your laptop, your computers, anything that you need to distract, you like to dispose of. They distract the data. Literally, I actually had a chance to be in their facilities. They erase and distract all of your not needed data and hard drive. Everything is completely distracted physically. They have a secure facility in that sense. So if you're in need of distracting your data in a safe and secure environment with compliance and with documentation, consider Pupfish USA Sustainability Solutions. I have their QR code on the screen. You can scan it and you can get in touch with them. If you mentioned that you had the discount code ABP, you heard about them in the American Business Podcast, you'll also get a discount as well. As you know, every month we put together online networking event called Connectional America Business Alliance. So this month, on November 21st at 10 a.m., our next online networking event is coming up. We have limited registration, limited seating. If you like to introduce your products, your company, your service on the American Business Podcast live, that's a great opportunity. You'll be meeting with other business professionals in that episode, in that session. At the same time, you'll be in front of thousands of American Business Podcast subscribers and followers. So that's a great opportunity to promote your business, your products and services. Please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our registration page. And I hope you can join us. And we are very excited because it's next Friday, almost there. And the registration is almost closed. We have limited seating, as I mentioned. So if you're interested in promoting your business, your products and services, consider joining us. I hope you can join us in the live online business networking event live on the American Business Podcast. Great. That's it for today. Thank you very much for listening and watching the American Business Podcast. American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Thank you very much and have a great day.